Ah, my beautiful alpha family. You've done it. You've cracked their code, and now they are struggling to recover from the chaos you've unleashed on them. The pain you've inflicted, the wounds you've created are deep and irreversible. They may try to pretend they're unscathed, but deep down, they know the truth. They know they can't ever go back to who they were before you expose them for what they truly are. It was never a question of if you would break through their defenses. It was always a matter of when. And now that you've done it, they are left in a state of vulnerability they never thought possible. They thought they were invincible, untouchable, but you've shattered that illusion, and they can't even begin to pick up the pieces of what they once were. You are the storm that tore through their calm. You are the truth they never saw coming, and now they're drowning in it, while you stand tall and proud with your newfound power. They thought they had the answers. They thought they were in control, but now they are fumbling, trying to put together what you've so effortlessly taken apart. They were blinded by their own arrogance, by their own belief that they were above everyone else. But you saw through it. You saw them for who they really were, beneath the masks, the smiles, the fake facades. You've cracked their code, and it's only a matter of time before the consequences hit them harder than they can imagine. They're scrambling now, searching for a way out, trying to regain some semblance of control. But they're lost. They can't find it, and they won't find it, because what they've lost cannot be repaired. They'll never be the same again. They'll never feel as confident as they once did. They'll never walk with the same arrogance, because they know the truth. Now they know you've seen through their lies, and they're terrified. They should be terrified because you hold the key to their undoing. Their every move will be calculated. Their every word weighed against the possibility that you know exactly what they're up to. They'll never have peace again because you've shown them what they really are. And they'll never forget that the fear you've instilled in them will linger for as long as they walk this earth. They thought they could outsmart you, that they could keep you in the dark, that they could manipulate and control you. But they were wrong, so wrong, and now they're paying the price for their arrogance. You were always one step ahead, always watching, always waiting for the right moment to strike, and now they are reeling from the impact. They never saw you coming. They underestimated your resolve. They underestimated your intelligence, and now they're paying the price for it. The worst part for them is they don't know how to fix it. They don't know how to recover from what you've done to them, because they've never been in this position before. They've never been on the receiving end of a situation where they were outplayed, outmaneuvered, outclassed. They were too busy focusing on their own power to notice that you were quietly working behind the scenes, preparing to take them down. And now that you've done it, they have no idea how to fight back. The fear they feel now is something they'll never forget. They'll look over their shoulder, constantly wondering if you're watching, wondering if you know their every move, their every weakness. They'll try to recover, try to regain some sense of control, but the damage is done. You've exposed them, and that's something they can never undo, no matter how hard they try, no matter how many times they try to cover their tracks or manipulate the situation in their favor. They'll never be able to erase the fact that you've cracked their code, that you know exactly what they're about, and that you can bring them to their knees whenever you choose to do so. And that's where the true power lies. You hold the power to shape their destiny now, to decide whether they live in fear or if you'll allow them the mercy of a quick demise. But you don't owe them that mercy. They owe you everything they owe you, the respect they never gave you, the recognition you deserved, the acknowledgement of your greatness. And now, They will have to live with the knowledge that they were wrong about you. They will have to live with the fact that you were always the one they should have feared, and now you've shown them why they should have never underestimated you. The worst part is that they can't even begin to understand how it happened, how you got the upper hand, because they were so blinded by their own egos, they never saw you coming. They didn't realize that beneath your quiet demeanor was a mind sharper than any of theirs. They didn't realize that you were playing a different game than they were. While they were focused on petty battles, you were preparing for the war. And now that war is over, and they've lost, and they'll never be able to recover from it, because they can't undo what you've done to them. They can't undo the fact that you cracked their code and exposed their every weakness, their every flaw. They'll try to rebuild. They'll try to salvage what's left of their pride. But deep down, they'll know it's pointless, because they can never go back to what they were. They can never reclaim the sense of invincibility they once had. And every step they take will be tainted by the fear that you're still out there waiting for the moment to strike again. They'll never truly recover from this. They'll never truly heal, because you've shown them a version of themselves they can't ignore, and they'll have to live with that for the rest of their lives. You've broken them, you've shattered their illusions, and now they are left to pick up the pieces of their shattered ego. But no matter how hard they try, they'll never be able to put it all back together again. They'll never be whole again, because they'll always know the truth. They'll always know that you cracked their code, and that you hold the power to destroy them whenever you choose to do so. So let them struggle. Let them try to recover. Let them scramble to put together the pieces of their broken empire, because the reality is, they will never be the same again. They will never regain what they've lost. They will never recover from the damage you've inflicted on them. And that is something they will have to live with for the rest of their lives. And every time they look over their shoulder, every time they wonder if you're watching, they'll know that the fear they feel is justified, because you cracked their code, and now they are forever in your shadow, forever at your mercy. You did what they never expected you to do. You broke through the barriers they built to protect themselves, and now they are exposed. They are vulnerable, and they will never forget. That they will never forget that you were the one who outsmarted them, outplayed them, and ultimately destroyed everything they thought they knew about power. You cracked their code, and now they're struggling to recover, and that's a fate they will never escape from. So take a moment to savor this victory. Take a moment to enjoy the power you now hold, because this is just the beginning for you. The world is yours to conquer, and they will never be able to stop you. They'll try, they'll fight, but it won't matter, because they've already lost, and you hold the key to their destruction, and they'll never be able to take that from you. Now you can watch them struggle. You can watch them twist and turn, trying to regain what they've lost. But the reality is that they will never recover. They will never rise again. And every moment they spend in fear is another moment where you've already won. So let them try to rebuild. Let them try to repair their broken lives, because it won't change anything. They'll never be the same again. They'll never have the strength to challenge you again. They will always remember the day you cracked their code and exposed them for what they truly were. And they will live in the shadow of that fear for the rest of their lives. They will live in the shadow of that fear for the rest of their lives. It will haunt them. Every night, they will wonder if you are watching, lurking in the darkness, waiting for another opportunity to strike. The truth you exposed, the cracks in their armor, they will never go away. Even when they try to convince themselves that they've moved on, that they've healed, deep down, they will know that they have been marked by you forever. You've left an indelible scar on their psyche. And the worst part is, they can't even recognize how deep it runs. They can't grasp the magnitude of the shift, the total destruction you caused within them, because they will always underestimate the power of someone who understands them better than they understand themselves. This is a power they can never recover from. They are nothing more than hollowed out versions of what they once were. They have been reduced to mere shadows, their bravado now a pathetic attempt at maintaining some semblance of dignity. But inside, they know, deep down, they've been broken. No matter how hard they try to rebuild their walls, the foundation has already been cracked. The pieces you've taken from them will never come together again, not in the same way. And while they stand there, trying to reconstruct their egos, trying to piece together what's left of their shattered illusions, you will be watching. You will be the one who sits at the top of this game, the one who holds the strings to their fate. They will always be looking over their shoulders, always wondering if today is the day you decide to pull the final thread and watch them crumble into nothing. The fear that has settled in their hearts is something they will never escape, because it isn't just about losing control. It's about losing their very sense of self. They can no longer pretend that they are untouchable, that they are above the consequences of their actions. Do you see it now? Do you see the power that you hold over them? They are weak now. In comparison to you, they are nothing. They can try to run, try to hide, try to bury themselves in their own lies and delusions. But the truth you've uncovered will always be there, following them. There will be no sanctuary, no place they can retreat, to where they won't feel the weight of what they've lost. The illusion of safety has been stripped away. They will try to rally their forces, try to gather their strength to take you down, to regain control. But they don't understand. They can never defeat you now. They're too far gone, too weak, too broken. They don't have the tools they need to fight you. You, on the other hand, have everything you need. You have the knowledge, the insight, the intelligence. You have the strategy. You have the drive. You've already proven that you can destroy them. And now, you have the power to decide if you will let them rebuild at all. It's up to you now. You have the freedom to decide whether they remain in this broken state or whether you deliver the final blow that will send them into oblivion. They've made their mistakes and they've paid the price. But that price, that suffering, will never be enough to undo the damage they've caused. And even if you choose to grant them mercy, the damage will still be done. They will live with the fear, with the knowledge that they are powerless. That is the most torturous thing of all. The knowledge that you could strike whenever you wish, but you choose to watch them suffer. Because let's face it, that's what they truly fear. It's not just the fear of being exposed. It's not the fear of losing control. It's the fear that they will never again have the strength to rise. The fear that no matter how hard they try to pick up the pieces, they will always be left incomplete. They will always know that they are standing on the precipice, just one misstep away from falling back into the abyss you created. The reality is that they cannot heal. The wound you've inflicted is too deep, too raw. They will try to convince themselves that they are fine, that they are in control, that they are whole. But it's all a lie. Every attempt to rebuild will only be a futile effort. They will forever be haunted by the knowledge that you could end them in an instant. What you have achieved, what you have done, it goes far beyond anything they could ever have anticipated. And what's worse for them is that you did it with ease. They never saw it coming. They thought they were smarter. They thought they were better. They thought they were the ones who held the cards. But you outplayed them. You saw the game for what it was and crushed them. Now, they will always know that you were the one who broke them. Their world will never be the same. The landscape they once dominated is now forever altered, and they are no longer the rulers they thought themselves to be. They are powerless, weak, and insignificant. Their once mighty empire now lies in ruins, and they are left with nothing but the wreckage. Every attempt they make to rebuild will be a reminder that they've lost it all. You, on the other hand, have risen. You've come out on top. You are the one who holds all the power. You are the one who dictates what happens next. Every move they make will be a desperate attempt to hold on to something that is slipping through their fingers. But the harder they try, the more they will realize that they are only digging themselves deeper into a hole they cannot climb out of. They will continue to fight. They will continue to try to salvage what's left of their reputation, their power, their position. But it won't matter. It won't be enough. They will always know that they are second to you. They will always know that you are the one who cracked their code, and that is something they will never be able to escape. And you, my beautiful Alpha family, you are the ones who hold the power. You are the ones who will dictate the fate of those who thought they could outsmart you, who thought they could crush you. You are the ones who will watch them squirm, knowing that they can never come back from this. The fear you've instilled in them will never fade. It will linger for as long as they walk this earth. They will never forget that you cracked their code. But you don't just want to break them, do you? Number. You want to leave them in a state of perpetual anxiety, of constant fear. You want them to never feel safe again. You want them to wonder every single day when the next strike will come. Because that is the true power, the true victory. Not just breaking them once, but keeping them in a state of torment, keeping them on edge, reminding them every single day that they are beneath you, that they can never rise again, that they can never be the force they once were. And while they are consumed by this fear, you will rise higher and higher. You will dominate. You will thrive. The world is yours now, and they are nothing more than a reminder of what happens when you underestimate the true power of those who are willing to fight, to endure, and to break down everything that stands in their way. They will always remember the day you cracked their code, and that memory will be their undoing. They've lost, and you have won. The victory is yours, not just because you've shattered their perception of power, but because you have taken everything they thought they had and turned it into dust. You have decimated the illusions they once wore like armor, those facades they carefully crafted to hide their weaknesses. The kingdom they built is no more, and they are left standing among the ruins, desperately trying to gather the scattered pieces of their former selves. You did what they could never imagine. You entered their world, studied their every move, learned their deepest secrets, and then you struck at the heart of everything they valued. You attacked not with brute force, but with the kind of subtlety and precision that leaves them paralyzed. They were too blind to see you coming, too arrogant to believe that anyone could ever outsmart them. And now, they stand exposed, broken by your brilliance. You've watched them stumble, flail in the aftermath of their fall, trying to rebuild something that was never meant to survive. But the truth is, there is no rebuilding. There is no going back to who they once were. The game has changed, the rules have shifted, and you hold all the cards now. They are left scrambling, trying to figure out what went wrong, trying to make sense of their shattered empire. But no matter how much they try, no matter how many times they try to piece together the fragments of their once mighty existence, it will never be the same. Every attempt they make to regain control will be futile. Every strategy they devise will be tainted by the knowledge that you were the one who outsmarted them, the one who cracked their code. The fear will gnaw at them. Every decision they make will be influenced by the haunting question: is this the moment they come for me again? It will eat them from the inside, leaving them weaker, more paranoid with every passing day. And you, my beautiful Alpha family, You will watch it unfold. You will watch as they try and fail over and over again to regain their footing. It will bring you satisfaction, but not in the way they expect. It won't be about revenge or vengeance, but about the realization that you have outgrown them. You have moved beyond the need for petty battles. You are now playing the long game, the game of dominance, the game of control, the game where your very presence is enough to keep them trembling in fear. This is where the real power lies, not in the moment of victory, but in the aftermath, in the silence that follows the storm when they are left with nothing but the wreckage of their former glory. They will try to hide their fear, mask their vulnerability, but it will seep through every interaction, every decision they make. They will never again have the confidence to walk with their heads held high. They will always wonder if you're watching, if you're waiting for the right moment to strike again. And you will never forget this moment. You will remember every step, every misstep they made, every weakness you exploited. You will never let it go, because this is your victory. You will let it fuel your ambition, fuel your drive to continue growing, to continue rising while they remain stuck in their own destruction. The beauty of your triumph is that it doesn't end here. This is just the beginning. You have proven to them that you are not to be underestimated, that you are not someone they can discard, someone they can push aside. You've shown them what it means to cross you, and now they are forever in your shadow. No matter how far they run, no matter how much they try to distance themselves from the consequences of their actions, they will never escape the truth. You broke them. You cracked their code, and now they are nothing but a shell of what they once were. What's more, you've learned something invaluable in the process. You've learned how to win. You've learned how to play the game of power, of strategy, of manipulation, and you've done it flawlessly. This isn't just a one-time victory. This is your blueprint for the future. This is the foundation of your rise to greater heights. You've tasted what it's like to hold all the power, to control the narrative, and you will never settle for anything less than complete and total control from this point forward. They might attempt to retaliate, to seek revenge, to strike back in some desperate attempt to restore what they lost. But it won't matter. You've already seen the cracks in their armor. You know their every move, their every weakness. They are playing catch-up while you are 10 steps ahead, mapping out your next move, calculating the best way to destroy them once and for all. The game has already been won. The only question left is how much more damage you want to inflict before you move on to your next conquest. But even as you watch them flounder, you must understand this. Your victory isn't just about breaking them. It's about ensuring that you never fall into the same trap they did. They were blinded by their own arrogance, their own sense of superiority. They thought they were untouchable, that no one could ever outsmart them. And it was this arrogance that ultimately led to their downfall. You, however, have learned from their mistakes. You have seen what happens when power is left unchecked, when ego clouds judgment, and you will never make the same mistake. You will rise higher. You will move forward, ever cautious, ever vigilant, because you know that complacency is the true enemy. You will continue to grow, to expand, to strengthen yourself in ways they never could have anticipated. You will never allow yourself to become vulnerable in the way they did. You will be smarter, faster, stronger, and those who try to challenge you will meet the same fate as they did: exposure, humiliation, and inevitable defeat. The beauty of this victory is that it doesn't just change the dynamics between you and them, it changes the very way the world sees you. No longer will you be the one in the background, the one who is overlooked. No longer will you be the one they assume is weak or naive. You are the one who controls the narrative now. You are the one who holds the power. and the world will know it. Every move you make from this point forward will be calculated, deliberate. You will no longer be swayed by the opinions of others, because you now understand that the only opinion that matters is your own. You have proven that you can overcome any obstacle, outsmart anyone who dares to stand in your way. The world is your chessboard, and every piece on it is yours to control. And so, as you watch them fall apart, as you see them struggle to pick up the pieces of their shattered empire, you will know one thing for certain: they will never recover from this. They will never rise again, because you have exposed their true nature. You have shown the world who they really are, and that truth will haunt them for the rest of their lives. But you will rise higher. You will continue to grow, to thrive, to dominate. You are unstoppable. They are nothing. You have won, and nothing will ever take that away from you. In the end, they have lost, and you have emerged victorious. The fear you've instilled in them will never fade, and the power you now hold is absolute. They will never be the same, forever haunted by the truth you exposed. As they scramble in vain to rebuild, you will continue to rise, unchallenged, unshaken, and unstoppable. You've cracked their code, and they are forever in your shadow. The game is over, and you have claimed the victory. This is just the beginning of your dominance.